an icon, a legend, a man that not many will ever come even close, I mean, to doing 10% of what this man has achieved. He is the greatest bodybuilder of all time, 7-time Mr. Olympia, the one and only Phil Heath is in the studio!
Thank you.
My man, so good to have you back.
Bro, it's been years, man. But it seems like yesterday.
I agree. I feel like social media allows you to connect with people even though you're not connecting with them.
True that.
But yeah, you were in the studio maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago or something like that.
just like that, bro.
It's pretty crazy, right? You're back. You're back in Dubai. You're here for the Dubai Pro Show happening on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I'll be there with Panada Sport and also ProFit. So it's going to be great.
It's cool. Like, you travel the world. You still traveling the world doing what you do, appearing at a lot of these type of shows, making appearances, doing motivational speeches.
Yeah.
How's life?
It's fantastic. I got my wife with me all the time, and a lot of people don't realize, like, we are business partners, but we get to travel the world together, and it's just fantastic.
That's so cool. Yeah. So, I mean, when you say business partners, what are you guys working on? Is there anything that I should know that we're working on, or is there anything else that's happening that you haven't announced yet that we can get on the show?
Oh man, we got a gym gym.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Where?
We're going to tell you the location a little later.
Okay,
but yes.
We can't say it right now, but there is a gym that you guys are actually...
Oh, yes.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, 2025.
And you building a gym, I'm sure, you know exactly what a gym requires.
Exactly. And that's why I'm here at the Dubai Pro Show with ProFit and also Panada Sport. They have the best equipment and the best facilities to create a marvelous gym. So you already know, like, the minute you touch ground in the United States, I got you.
Okay, I can't wait. Now I want to play something here, pretty. Which this is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who's
Dwayne, your friend,
one of my idols here. But just take a listen to the audio. Have a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the greatest bodybuilder on the planet, the recipient of the 2017 iconic Sandow Trophy, the 7-time Mr. Olympia, Phil the Gift Heath.
You're just hearing that. How does that feel? It gave me goosebumps.
Gets me every time.
It's not
bro.
even me, and I got goosebumps. How does that feel?
Gets me every time, bro.
Yeah.
Every freaking time.
Yeah.
And to be able to be a fan of Dwayne's and then have him a part of that documentary, Breaking Olympia. You know, him, Danny Garcia. I mean, shout out to them. It's, oh my God, it's like a dream come true, you know?
Mm-hmm. Was it like, not a stamp of approval, but was it just sort of like an accomplishment that you can now sit back and go, I did it?
Absolutely. I mean, when you're going for your first one, you're just trying to be the best in the world, right?
Now,
and then you have to defend.
When you're going for your first Olympia.
Yeah, first Olympia, just trying to win one of them. And then when I finally won in 2011, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I did it. But then you got to defend the darn thing.
Yeah.
And then you do it over and over and over. And then you start getting into that legendary category. You know, you got the Jay Cutlers, the Dorian Yates, and then this guy named Arnold, right?
Some guy called Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't think people realize what it takes to be, apart from being Mr. Olympia, I think just being a bodybuilder.
Yeah. As I exhale, right? I mean, it's a lot of work. And a lot of people will say, oh, I want to lose weight. And I'm like, that's great. But we're talking about losing weight and building muscle at the same time. We're talking about preserving muscle and then actually putting that on a bodybuilding stage where there's no Instagram lights. There's no filters, right? It is just a group of judges. They may or may not know you, and they really don't care what you have to say. They're just adjudicating you against other people. And that's difficult because you have a lot of stress that goes involved. And anyone that deals with stress, there's a stress hormone called cortisol that'll make you look like you never dieted a day in your life because you start to hold water. And that is really, really tough. So when you're dealing with business or personal struggles, you can't even bring that to the bodybuilding stage. And you have to
because your body holds. So
yeah,
like I feel like for me as a body type, like I feel like I don't sleep a lot. I do a lot of work. I do train, but I feel like I don't lose what I wish. Could that be just literally cortisol that you're saying? Like that
absolutely.
Your body just holds it all?
We all hold something, right? We all, suppress different emotions.
Yeah.
We all have different struggles. I mean, heck, I've gone through a lot, right? Like just like anybody else, I've gone through, heartache with business. I've had, 2 parents that passed away. I've had divorce. I've had, bad business, all while getting ready for the Mr. Olympia. And you have to suppress that and then still train. And a lot of people eat their feelings. A lot of people. I mean, I've eaten my feelings, right?
Yeah, emotional eater right over here. Happy,
So,
sad, whatever it is, you gravitate towards that food.
right. So then you definitely have to push that aside and say, look, this is my purpose. And the last thing I want to do is, again, be adjudicated against other people who, may or may not have had that problem, and they don't care you had that problem, and they want to take you down. So you have to really find that strength within each and every day, whether you're, doing cardio for 2 hours, weights for 2 hours, doing the business of bodybuilding, traveling around the world. I mean, I've traveled over 3 million miles in my career. I mean, it's wild.
That's unbelievable.
But I love it, man.
The Breaking Olympia, which is on Prime, by the way, which is this documentary, which was shot alongside The Rock and the Garcias, I mean, that I'm yet to watch it. I want to sit down and really, truly just invest this time. How was it filming this? How was it reliving some of the trauma? Because that's not an easy part to do. You're bringing up trauma.
Yes.
How was the whole filming of this doco?
The trauma, that is the biggest part, because you want to showcase your most authentic, most vulnerable self. So that means you actually have to sit with yourself and go all the way back, childhood, and we all have childhood trauma in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
And speak and really convey what you were going through at that given time, and not care about being, imperfect. That's the hardest thing for a professional bodybuilder, especially Mr. Olympia, is that you're trying to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
But in your documentary, you realize you're not perfect at all. But that is the magic. That is the recipe, right, for success, is realizing, hey, I'm not perfect. And I want people to see who I am as a person, not just as a bodybuilder. So we went all the way back from childhood through teenage years. I was a Division I basketball player. And, of course, if I would have been great at that, I wouldn't be a bodybuilder, right?
Yeah.
And that took a huge mental, oh, my gosh, you just have to see the film. Because I definitely believe that we have a lot of little nuggets here and there that we've received great applause from, from parents, from grandmas. I mean, you get a lot of DMs and emails from people that say, I really didn't know anything about bodybuilding, but I love Phil Heath. And I'm like, That's
cool. 7-time Mr. Olympia. If one time wasn't enough.
Right? I wanted 10, to be honest, man.
So
but,
you were
7.
equaled with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
7 times?
Yep.
Now, is there that one more?
No.
Out?
I'm done.
Because I know the documentary looks at possibly pursuing. Are you're content? You happy?
I am. Finally.
Took a while?
Took a long time.
Why? 7 times is a huge amount.
It is, but you always want one more. I mean, why not? You always have it in you. Every time I go to the gym and I start getting after it, I start thinking, damn, why not one more? And I'm like, I made a commitment. And I got to stick to that. And it doesn't mean that I can't be a bodybuilder just competing.
Okay.
I'm done.
Did the documentary help you come to that decision, like filming the documentary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely it did. And also my wife, she's been with me, and, we make decisions together.
Yeah.
And then also having a relationship with DJ, with Dwayne Johnson. I remember being in his trailer. He was filming Titan Games season 2.
Oh, yeah.
And he flat out told me, he was like, this is going to hurt. But it's okay, because there's life after this. He had to experience that in wrestling, and he was like, yeah, I will come back here and there, but for you, this is different. You got to say goodbye and do it with class, and make sure that they love you in the end. But they ultimately just want to see you happy.
Yeah.
And that was my goal, is just soak it all in. And even as I say it, I'm like, man, you always have it in your head, like,
yeah,
I could always do another one. Like, this weekend, we're going to Dubai Pro. And I'm going to see guys on stage, and I'm going to be thinking, man, that would have been an easy check right there, dude. Like,
How old are you now?
44.
Is there a, in sports like basketball, early 30s, you sort of bringing your career down. How is it for bodybuilding? Is there an age where the body sort of does stop?
I think your peak, if you do it right, is usually around that 33 to 36 range.
Okay.
And then it's just all about holding on.
Okay. My time's come and gone then.
Yes.
Damn.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but let's say you're 44, you said?
Yep.
Okay, so you and I are the same age.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to attempt to right now, let's just say, you're the greatest to ever do it, your body... Our body, as men at the age of 44, just couldn't do some of the things that a 33-year-old body's doing.
For me, yeah. Like, I'll be honest, it would take a greater effort than where it was at 33. No question about it. I mean, do I know how to get my body in shape for a competition? Absolutely. Is the body going to respond the same way? I'm not sure. But what I would have to sacrifice just to get close to that peak, I'd have to sacrifice everything. And that's what bodybuilding really is, to be honest. And really in entrepreneurship, I mean, you have to sacrifice. Even an entrepreneur, you have to sacrifice. Everybody has to sacrifice, but I'm not willing to do that. I had my time, and it's always good to be able to see other people, try to achieve greatness or their own, version of it. And I'll be honest, I don't see anybody come close to 7 anytime soon, but I'll be there to watch, if there is a record to be broken. But yeah, I love bodybuilding. I always will. I'll always be a part of the Olympia in some way, shape, or form. In fact, I'm going to be inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame at the 60th Mr. Olympia in Las Vegas this year. So I'm very, very happy about that.
Well deserved. Congratulations. Yeah. That's so cool. Just going back to The Rock, I know that you've got access to his I Am Paradise. Did he invite you? You can go train at The Rock's gym whenever you like.
I was, my wife and I, we were able to get down there, and it was incredible. We had a great time.
Is his I Am Paradise? You see it on sort of social media. Is it everything that you require to just continue to build there as well?
Oh, you can definitely build. Yeah, you can definitely build there. No question about it. I mean, he has everything there that you need to get after it, and it was a really good vibe, man.
That's awesome.
And it's not like a public gym, of course.
Yeah,
very, very private. But I'm trying to remember, what did we train? We trained arms one day, which was awesome. And then we trained chest and shoulders another day. We had a great time, man. And I'll tell you what, he's very strong, but he tries to hold back because he's worth a lot of money, right? So you don't want to tear any muscles or anything like that for a movie role and whatnot. So he's very, very smart, but he knows how to train for himself because he's a tall man, but he's also a big dude as well.
Yeah.
So cool. Lalit is on the phone, been wanting to ask a question. Lalit, you're on with 7-time Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath. What is the question you want to ask?
Hi, Phil. Big fan. Are you and Kai Green friends now?
So Kai Green, a fellow bodybuilder, and through the years there's been some ups and downs in that relationship.
Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah.
Good question, Lalit. Now, are you and Kai Green, for people that aren't into the bodybuilding side, you won't understand what's going on here, but obviously enemies, frenemies, ups and downs. What are we at now?
I would say that we're friends, but neither one of us is sending happy birthday messages or Christmas cards or anything like that. But you know what? He's a great competitor. We both pushed each other to greater heights. I mean, without one another, we wouldn't have been the bodybuilders that we were on that stage. And I don't think we'll ever see a fierce rivalry like that again because it was very organic. It was not, fabricated. It wasn't, scripted. We just freaking hated each other, man. I mean, we really did.
But competition brings... When you're competing against someone, there is that, unfortunately, hate's there during that competition time. You got to look at a UFC fight. These guys talk so much trash to one another before the fight. As soon as the fight's over, what do?
They're hugging.
They're hugging each other. They respect each other. I'm guessing that's sort of what the relationship is.
True that, but if he walked in here right now, it'd be a different story. I mean, it's just like that. I mean,
you wouldn't hug him?
No. But it's just so funny. I'm laughing as I say it, right? Because we just have that vibe, and we both preserve it. We're okay with it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you a quick one about Kai Green. After I did lose in 2018, he called me, and I was very shocked. But what he said was even more revealing of the friendship that we could build upon, and I value that very much because. You are who you stand next to.
Yeah.
So, and I stood next to a champion bodybuilder as well. I mean, he won, a few Arnold Classic titles, and he was second to me. And if I'm the greatest, then he ain't too bad either, right? Yeah. So, shout out to Kai. If I see you this weekend, I don't know, man.
Give him a hug, Phil.
That would probably
go and give him a hug.
That would probably go viral.
Yeah, go give him a hug. Yeah. Honestly, I look at it like Stallone and Schwarzenegger. During their early filming years, they hated each other.
That's true.
They were so competitive against one another.
Right.
Now look at them.
Yep.
They're like BFFs. They're shouting each other out on Instagram. I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, Hey, be the bigger man, which you are.
Oh, man.
Do it.
You are the bigger man. Okay?
Physically and emotionally.
Okay,
right.
I'll do
Yeah.
it. For you guys,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
All right, Dubai Pro Show happening Friday, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. The World Trade Center. Who are you here with again? Who you traveling?
Panada and Profit.
Okay, good. Both good guys, which is great. Lalit, did that answer your question there, mate?
Yes, it did. And I had asked the same question to Kai Green when I met him last year at Muscle Show.
What did he say?
He said he has utmost respect for Phil and he loves him as a guy.
Look at that. There we go. We love. All right.
Hug him.
There could be a hug. There could be a hug. You're in Dubai for the Dubai Pro Show Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the World Trade Center. More info, you can go to Dubai_Pro_event. What is the Dubai Pro event? I mean, I say it, but it's a bodybuilding competition?
Yeah, it's a bodybuilding competition and an expo as well.
Okay, so we're going to see some elite bodybuilders on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get to judge at all? Or?
No, thank goodness. I don't need to do that. Yeah.
What do they look for in, like, when you were winning the Olympians, the Olympia, should I say? Is it the size? Is it the... I don't know. What do you look for?
Well, you got to look at the size, right?
Okay.
You got to look bigger than the average human, but at the same time, you're looking for fullness of the muscles. You're looking for conditioning, so that's being shredded, right? Like, so every body part has to be shredded, not just your abs, not just your chest, not just your arms, just your shoulders, glutes, hamstrings. I mean, and now we're going into from 720, 1080, 4K, 5,
What's
6K.
that? What's that?
The resolution, right?
Yeah.
So imagine like the resolution of a TV screen, right?
Oh, you mean
So
you
they
start to see
really
more now?
Yeah, so we got to get like the 8K IMAX, like, you know, we want to see that part. But we have to see it in every body part, and the person that showcases that wins.
So when you're at the gym, is it like you actually look at yourselves with your trainers, I'm guessing, and you be like, okay, we got to work on the left calf muscle, and then you go to the gym and you train a little bit more on that left calf muscle to
If
bring
it needs to work, that's what you're doing. And instead of just taking pictures to get likes on Instagram, like a lot of people do, we're looking at it like, nope, I need to shave this much fat off of this side. Like, how do I do that? And then you find the answer. And through trial and error, which we have plenty of time to do, we figure it out, especially through diet and exercise.
You know those guys I've seen on social media that are injecting that thing that blows their muscle up?
Oh, my God.
What? Wait, what?
Haven't you seen those guys? They've got no muscle on them, but they inject something in their muscle.
Yeah, it's
And
like
it gives them a muscle.
It inflames the muscle.
But it's dangerous.
Like, very dangerous. It's like they call it synthol.
What is it? You've never seen this guy? I think he's
Your
from
feed, my feed.
There's
very
a Russian
different.
guy. He's like really skinny.
Did his traps, he did his shoulders, and
he walks
did his pecs.
Yeah, it's
weird.
But yeah, so
Very strange.
Do you guys, would they ever look? Could you put something into a muscle that could expand it? Is anyone?
I know for sure there's guys in the industry that have done it. Unfortunately, when the muscle is moving, we can tell. So on Instagram, we're like,
You
oh,
can't
the guy,
tell. Yeah.
If you're standing still and they get you in the right frame, you're like, oh wow, this guy, has great biceps and this and that, and then it goes back to the conditioning part when we actually can see those fibers move. So like if I go like this, you can see
Phil Heath is flexing right now. Yeah, look at your bicep. There was like 17 lines in your bicep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have that.
Chris, do
Right.
that.
Oh gosh.
So this is what we're talking about, right? So you're seeing the fibers, and then you're seeing the skin texture.
Your bicep has like all these lines going through.
Right.
What
so
are the-
that's the biggest thing.
I thought the
is that-
bicep was just one muscle.
I know.
It's
That's
not. It's spread.
7-time muscle.
That's pretty
Yeah.
flex. Pretty's been training. That's a
That's
good
not
muscle
bad.
there. That's a
Yeah,
good.
you're
That's a good
killing it.
muscle. All right.
I'm killing it.
Yeah. So we've brought your wife onto the show right now. Shuri, thank you so much for joining us as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I want to understand, because it must be pretty intense. How long have you guys been married for?
Going on 2 years, but together for almost 10.
Okay, so you've been there through the highs and the lows.
Absolutely.
When he was competing, how hard is it for you as the wife and the partner and the support system to get through this?
It's pretty difficult. But I will say that when you love somebody and you see the vision and you know their dreams and goals, you'll show up. And
So cool.
I've had to be selfless, but then once competing is over, he kind of comes back to life and we have a normal life again. But for 6 months, it's all about him. And for me, I like to show up and cook all of his meals. I was doing every meal for him fresh.
Wow,
so 7 meals a day.
What like how many calories would be when he's trying to compete or working into it? How many calories is he going and what's he eating?
I think about what 5 to 6,000 calories maybe a day. And then,
that's amazing.
I mean, we would spend probably around $2,000 a week on just food.
Everything
and then
high
the
end.
It's
amount
like
of,
feeding an animal.
It is.
It's literally you're just cooking
It
this
is.
meat.
Yes.
It is feeding an animal.
You are a beast. He is a beast.
Yeah.
and then I didn't want to eat. Like I got to the point where I was repulsed by food. So I just lived on protein shakes and protein bars because that was the thing I didn't have to make. It was always meat, potatoes, rice.
Yep.
Because food wasn't there to be enjoyed. It was food was there as a fuel, as a necessity for him to continue to grow and continue to do. So it's just like piling in.
Yeah, and the way he would eat it too was a bit nauseating because he eats very slow, but he would just be eating for hours, and I would look over and I'd be like, dude.
I'm a slow eater, man. I chew my food. I was the kid that my mom would say, chew your food. And that one time you get sick, because you're not chewing your food all the way, you're like, okay, that's never happening again. So,
no, I would leave the room or I would go do something. An hour and a half later, he's still working on the same plate. I'm like, we're never going to get through
grazing,
7 meals.
Man. I'm grazing.
This is a typical relationship, though. Like, husband, wife, there's things that just annoy them, right?
Oh, yeah.
But what was the thing that made you fall in love with Phil? And I want to ask Phil the same question.
I think it's his child spirit. Like I see little Phil. Like when I saw his childhood photos, that's who I see all the time. Like I see this little, he's such a big teddy bear, true sweetheart, always has good intentions, really leads with his heart. So a lot of people see him as a giant, scary figure that's, going to tear the gym up. For me, he's just a big teddy bear. So.
Oh, that's so cute, Phil. What about your wife, Shuri? Like, what was it that made you just fall in love with her?
Her heart. She's the most selfless person I've ever met in my life. She's so generous. She's so kind, but she also has that childlike spirit too, and our inner child connects all the freaking time. So we could be very upset at each other, which couples have. They have their disagreements.
It's normal.
It's good. Hey,
but we come together through it, and it's great. Like we could literally have like a drag out, like I don't really like you right now type of fight, and then you realize like. I do like you, and I love you.
I miss you now.
Yeah,
it's been an hour since we haven't spoken.
Yeah, you're like crossing paths in the kitchen.
You want to go eat? You'll finish by the
Jordan,
next day.
can I watch you eat for 7 hours, Phil? Honey, come over. You know what? It's really important to argue. It's okay to argue in relationships.
Yeah.
That took me a while to learn. I went through a divorce where I don't think we argued, but I realized that was probably an issue.
Yeah.
There wasn't. So and now with my wife Brianna, we argue all the time.
It's a lot of
But
fun.
we've got a really healthy relationship,
Right.
and I realize that as long as you have that commitment and that love and that respect for one another, that builds a relationship.
True.
Virgin Radio.